I told the story of the
Hot Springs?
no, of the Turkish bath.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys guessed Oliver, you were correct, and I didn't see anybody put his name in there. Oh yeah, Schwartz Gable. I can give Schwartz Gable a prize for that.
Schwartz, we're going to give you a
Schwartz,
shot.
I'm right. I'm gonna get this thing. I don't know if it works. It's only got one trigger. It doesn't have a double trigger. What's up, everybody? Welcome. It's Tuesday. It's everybody's favorite day of the week. Let's see what else is synonymous with a Tuesday.
It's like second place.
It's like 10th place. It's like 18th place. It's
yeah, Tuesday is like it's definitely not a winning day.
It's not
except
first place.
for on Spick and Span
It's
time.
except this is why we elevate everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tacos are cheap.
Tacos
Tuesday.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Taco Tuesday. Yeah.
Spick and Span Tuesdays. Yeah. So
what else is synonymous with Tuesday? We should ask AI.
let's get the chat bot going here. Let's get our assistant going here and figure out exactly what's going on. You need to get the plug-in. There's an app plug-in straight in there.
I have it on my phone.
Yeah, you just push this and it's like it says like right here. Look at this. Oh yeah, you just put it right here. Then it's just message me, ask me AI.
That's amazing. So ask it.
Well, Kyle's on it. So all right, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. We got a handful of stuff to unpack here today. We got the Hormy 1-on-1. That was really fun, by the way. I was
Glad you got to experience it.
because I played them.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any shit talking. There wasn't like that element of it. There wasn't like the team camaraderie of it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing about
Sure.
like that was like super fun.
Yeah.
And everybody started getting into it. I heard the second match, Orlando, I guess, was just going off.
Yeah.
It was cool.
There's not too much.
BKI Nations. What else we're gonna get into?
Productivity, Clowns vs Zombies this weekend. We're gonna chat about whatever you want. We're gonna talk about spa days. So what I was saying is, I told the story about how you took us to the Turkish bath,
Right.
Which I believe
Was that in Antalya?
Yeah. I think it was like in P. Diddy's basement is what it felt like.
Yeah. It's like very homoerogenous for sure.
Yeah.
Those guys have a great time though.
They had
time.
a blast.
Yeah.
You had a blast too because I think it had already you'd already
laughing.
been traumatized from it,
Yeah.
and you're like, I need to get someone. I need to submarine my friends with this. Someone else has to feel this
Yeah,
experience.
I'm pretty sure J-Rab and Chuck Schwartz were like the two guys who got it the worst, right?
Chucky got it. Chuck Schwartz got it the worst. I think after that he retired from paintball. He needs to. I don't know what the laws are over there, but he needs to file some sort of complaint to somebody.
Yeah.
I like
So
how
did
you
you
help this
explain?
player. It's a different player.
Oh, that's not even him.
No, we just.
Did you explain to them
I do that all
what
the time.
what it is, like what you do in it?
Well, I want to hear your because Todd Adamson was like, I'm booking all of Aftershock into this Turkish spa in Chicago, and I was like, ooh, do they know what they're getting themselves into? He's like, yeah, it's a great time, like la da da da. And I said, well, explain yours, and I'm gonna explain my experience in the Turkish spa.
I think it's going to be different in Chicago, because you know in Islamic countries, you know, there's no mixture of male and female in the spa. You know, so it's like you get the really scary looking like beastie strong Turkish man.
He looked like the guy that massaged us or hosted the sadistic experience on us.
Like looked like Freddie Mercury,
but
bigger.
He looked like he was that. He does that in the afternoons and then he bounces at a club. At a very rough biker club in the evenings.
Right, exactly.
Or he works for the Turkish mob.
That's right. Yeah,
That's him.
Yeah.
And then I was saying like the oil, the dripping off their hairy bodies into our faces.
Right,
yeah.
But I will say I do like when they scrub you and then they hit you with the cold water, and then they hit you with the hot water. I think that's pretty exhilarating. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it actually appeased every single. It enhanced every single sense. Everything, you were heightened. Like you were ready to.
Yeah.
And then you were so calm afterwards. Like everything was so nice. We got this mud mask. And we're like, wow, because I just had such a traumatic experience.
That's right, yeah.
That now they're like,
trauma bonding.
That's what it is. Trauma bonding.
Yeah.
Dude, people peddle so much of that sort of stuff. You know, now they have the things where you go into the woods and like break sticks and like smash things and shout in the air. They've got these men's camp where you're like, I'm a man. Yeah. I'm a man. Don't shout it louder. You're not a man. Have you seen those things?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Trauma bonding. I like
trauma
it.
Bonding, yeah.
We can do that.
We're bonded.
Yeah, we sure are.
And scrubbed clean by a 60-year-old hairy man. in a very small towel.
Very small towel. Like I think that towel.
It's like not even a towel. Also, it's like
it would be like
as thin as like a.
It was
towel.
like it would have been used so many times that like it'd been washed. I hope a lot, and then it had most of the material was gone.
The crazy thing is that guy's probably in that same place right now doing that to somebody. Like that's a lifelong job.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's. I don't even know what that guy could be else he could be doing.
Bouncing at a bar.
Bouncing at a bar. So, if you guys have not heard that episode or listened to that one, I think it was maybe 209, no, 208 with Todd Adamson. Let's see, 207 maybe. And you guys just gotta check it out. You gotta find the one with Todd Adamson prior to Chicago, and you'll get a nice little taste of that story right there.
Sometimes it's nice on Tuesdays to watch an episode before and then tune into the live.
Spend a full day with us.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
Catch up on like an old episode that's from like 2 years ago, and then like see how we've evolved, and then watch this one and be like, wow. It's only it's only 8 to 10 hours of my day, but I feel when I'm gonna be out of this, I will have traumatically bonded. Yeah.
What's your favorite episode so far?
That's a really good question.
Do you go back and watch them too when you're lonely, or when you miss the?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Span crew?
I will watch the compilation of eating terrible things every so often.
Okay.
I kind of miss that. Like I miss that like excitement of like who's gonna win. We kind of have.
Should we eat something terrible today?
We don't have anything here that's that terrible.
There's some dog shit in the.
Yeah, there's lots of dog poop. God, I noticed that when I was walking back here.
All right, let's have you eat some dog shit.
White ears, white.
Okay,
dog.
Either you can eat dog shit from the lawn, or we can get you one of those Indian Pale Ale Sierra Nevada beers that he has in his truck. Which one would you rather?
You just have them in the trunk of your car for a long time.
No, there's a couple of cold ones in there, but they're so gross. I can't drink them.
Yeah, Maddie gave me.
That's a Maddie.
No,
that's a Maddie
one of the
drink,
kids on the TJ Bastards. Just terrible.
So let's talk about them in the duel this weekend. So Hollywood Sports, or sorry, no, it's SC Village, the Hormesis. That's the last one in the U.S. stop before you go to Mexico next.
Mexico's next,
and then the finals. Let's talk about because you had a couple guys play in the joust.
Yeah, Eric, Arietta, and then
he played in the duel.
Oh, the duel. God,
yeah.
And then Noel played in the joust, or both played in the duel.
I think he just played the.
No, I think they didn't. Neither one of them were there for the
joust.
The
joust.
Yeah.
And then talk to us a little bit about what was going on with the Dynasty Fan Club in the Decay of Nations.
Yeah,
I didn't even get to get over there for that.
Oh man, that was so much fun. That Decay of Nations game is one of it's awesome, man.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing that.
Yeah, Kyle didn't play. But so we had a big section up there for Dynasty Champions Club members. Some of them were playing the duel. Some of them
played the joust.
The joust, sorry. Some of them played the joust. I don't think any of them played the duel. But we had two sections. So we had the morning section of the joust, where I hosted it, or I was one of the generals, and then Yosh did the second one, and so we swapped out kind of the big game side of things. But it's cool, man.
So you were playing the big game and then came over and did that?
No, I did yours first in the morning, and then I went up there, and then Yosh came down and did the second one.
Okay.
I
want to hear about the big game a little bit,
So the big game was dope. I mean, the first thing is, I come over there and Rodney's getting ready, and I was like, all right, let's jam out there. So me and Rodney, and then I want to say Orlando came with us, and a couple other guys, and we decided we're like, all right, we're gonna go just all the way through the woods, like all the way in the bushes. We're not even gonna mess around with this side of things. We walk for, no joke, half an hour, because you kind of like tiptoeing a little bit, and like, oh, is there a guy? And we got shot at one time, and the guy just pinned it and ran off. I'm like, all right. And so we just keep going. And I walked down this, like, to the point where it was now water and these thick reeds. You just couldn't walk any further. So I was like, all right, I'm going to walk through this anise. It was kind of like anise.
So did they open up all the fields?
The entire, it's like an anise section. Like, it's very similar to anise. It was just like these reeds, but they're all dried up.
I don't know if I ever walked through one of those.
It's,
He's never played woods ball.
Oh, I know, dude. It's a sad scene. And so we go through this really narrow little thing, and one guy starts shooting at us, and we shoot him. We're like, all right, cool. Then we start going a little bit more, and he just walks off because we're behind him. We're completely behind, like in the back door. It's like it was like if this one guy wasn't there, it would have been curtains for everybody. So we shoot him, and then he goes and tells his buddies, hey, they're behind us over here. So then it, like 4 guys come, and we're like kind of duking it out in the woods. Then like 8 guys come, and now you're like kind of surrounded. Shot a bunch of people, and then got bunkered by a guy with a pump. Ooh. And then decided
in the woods.
Dude, he just came tromping through that. They were surrounded. And I was just like in this little
Did you
thing.
Yell that? They have us surrounded.
No, but last year I was talking shit when I was in the bushes. I'm like, come and get me. It's just me.
And how many pods you bring out there?
So I only brought 6 this time, and then in that little encounter I think I shot 1 pod, and then went back and I was like, look, Rodney, that was a 45-minute stint to like. I shot like 6 or 7 guys. Like, it wasn't that tight. Let's go into the shit.
Yeah.
So then we grabbed everybody else, and we sent it in this, and like it was so much fun. I was FaceTiming Kyle while I was in there, and I was like zoomed in 5-time magnification. I was like, look at this guy.
No way.
Yeah, using my autococker. I got this thing all dialed in. Right here. Oh, you know what? We're not gonna look.
No, we're not gonna look at it right now.
It just gets. YouTube has a problem with.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that right now.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so that was fun. Let's talk about and then Yosh was down there. I think Orlando, Ben, and did any of the other Champs Club guys go out there in the second round down?
Should have had you all.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. No, I'm really grateful that you showed up to be a general, and Yosh. That's just a super bonus because obviously you guys. It means a lot to me that you guys get to see and experience this, and you got to experience the duel a little bit when we did the demos, but it was a light version, and then the joust is just the team version, which is just way more chaotic and way more fun and way more colorful. But again, my whole vision on it is that if anybody wants to come, the joust is open for everybody. You can have pro. So for instance, we had David Ramirez was there. I think
Mark.
There was another pro, Meiderman, yeah, but he's technically not pro, in APPA because he played the duel also. Thing. It's a strange thing too, but yeah. Anyways, the point is that it's nice to have pros show up because the idea is that you get onto a team and then you get on a team for life. So you're going to be glorious for life. Yosh is magnificent for life, and then
and you're tell me you're magnificent.
I'm magnificent for life, yeah. But glorious wins usually.
That's right.
Except for when you general.
Except for when I'm generaling and you're overseeing the rules.
Well, it was just
the infractions. Infraction glorious. But I wasn't allowed to do that. Nope. First, last, and final warning. Infraction. Point taken away. Well, what about them? No, they're good. That's a warning. Warning. Just don't do that again, guys. Warning. Magnificent, you're good. Warning.
Yeah, I felt a little bit bad for that. Sorry,
We lost by 1 point.
You lost by 1 point. Yeah. There was a couple of
My guy was on a heater.
I heard someone lost a point because the pod guy went out there.
Yeah.
That was right.
That was me.
But the idea is that we're teaching you. The joust is teaching you, and you obviously
lesson learned. Lesson learned.
Yeah, you're learning the parameters to not go onto the field before the game's over, and also it's funny. It's like some people, because we haven't got so much tournament experience, you shoot the guy, and then like guys walk off the field,
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a second, like in what paintball format do you just actually shoot the guy and walk off the field? You still have to go and hit the buzzer always.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to complete the point. So the idea is that we're educating you in a tournament level to follow through with the whole process, and then the pit crew is a big part of it. Because actually, shout out to Vic, right? Because Vic is such a great mastermind behind the pit crew, and that was something we always had good pit crew. But I will say I didn't get the full experience of Vic until I came back that World Cup year, and I was like, wow, like this stuff is really done very well now, and I think that as a player helps you relax more and just focus on playing when everything's organized in the pit, and he does an excellent job at that, and that's also what we're kind of teaching in the joust also is how to be a pit crew,
and how to be a team player, which is good, and getting everybody amped on the whole team aspect of everything.
Right. Yeah, and then some people will be like, so for instance, people who played that weekend, they are now on your team. So that's a big deal. Alex FRAIGE is on Glorious, Harrison Fry's on Glorious.
There we go.
If you're on Glorious, you have pro guys to rub elbows with. Like these are you'll never be able to say that you're on Dynasty and a teammate with Ryan unless you got onto Dynasty, but you can get on Glorious, which obviously Dynasty is pretty hard. Yeah. Yeah, Yosh
Earl.
was all over the field. Yeah, for sure.
All he got was warnings.
Yeah.
Thanks for having my back, Earl.
True.
Yeah,
Except for they did lose that afternoon.
They did.
So, they did
Maybe
lose it.
But that wasn't a reason. But it was just.
Yeah. It was funny. Yosh like ran up and like pulled the trump card out like within like 3 seconds, and he was in their pit, and I look over and I was like, okay, Yosh, because it's your first time, we're gonna allow that.
Oh, he ran over to their pit. Was like,
he ran over to their pit. He's like, Trump, and he was telling them, and I just happened to see it. And I'm like, oh, you want to Trump? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna trumpet him. And I'm like, okay, well, there's 3 seconds, but all right, I'll let you trump him.
Also, I had such a good move with the second trump card that I played.
Yeah, tell me how you did it.
And you didn't give me the same. It wasn't this. You didn't give me the same thing that you did to us. Where like when I got trumped, you're like, oh, Trump, 5 seconds to get a guy on the field, and we're like, oh shit. So one of my guys had to sprint down there.
Right.
So I waited until we were on opposite pits.
Right.
And when I think it was Todd, or it was Meterman. When Meterman was out, Mark was out there the second time.
Sure.
He walked down so we were far apart, and I was like, and I waited for the 5 seconds to go. I was like, Oliver, Trump, and you're like, oh, okay, pause. All right, go ahead and get another guy out there. Hey, Ryan called the trump card. Take your time. And I was like, no, dude, run the clock. You need to run the clock. And you're like, what do you say? I'm like, run the clock. Run the clock. And the dude was just jogging out there. And you're like, okay, boop, 10 seconds.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh.
You know, sometimes we like to put some stress on it.
Dude,
Sometimes
I had the game plan. You know, like I was like, oh, this is the code. Because you made us run out there. I was like, this is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah. So anybody who's watching, when you're playing the joust, the general gets 2 trump cards, which is like kind of a playing card. And yeah, it's a. I need some of those actually. You got some?
Yeah, I've got there's a whole box right there.
Okay, great. I'll take those.
Yeah, take
and so I give a trump card, and then that forces the player to get off. So like, let's just say Kyle's going on a run, and Ryan can't get him off the field, and none of his teammates can kill him. He can pull the trump card. It's also like a psychological war. It's like sometimes it's smart just to throw the trump card before the even guy gets out. Sometimes you throw the trump card just to splash it in his face. Like. It was funny when Nicky was doing it. The guy was like, him and Nicky were talking smack the whole time, and then this guy kept coming out, and he was playing pretty good. And Nicky's like, yeah, you know what? Just come off. It's like he just pulled him. He wasn't even that good. He just pulled him just because he wouldn't be able to play.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the other one was the other funny one was Paxton hadn't used his trump cards yet. And you're like, Paxton, don't forget you got trump cards, and I'm like, hey Oliver, don't tell him about what you're supposed to do. You're like, he goes, well, do I have to use them? And you're like, no. But you should definitely use your trump cards. I was like, Oliver, stop. And he's like, okay, fine. I'm going to trump you. And you're like, dude, come on, man. Oh, dude.
Timothy Bangs asks if you have any plans for any other cards or abilities.
Other cards or abilities.
Yeah,
That's a cool. Yeah. I want to make like a Hormesis trump card deck. Actually with our posters. Those cool posters. Yeah. So you'll have those. But I think I'm open to that. And anybody has ideas for different card. It'll be like what's the
like,
game? Uno? Like, reverse.
Yeah, reverse. Or like I'm gonna
skip.
Or it's like I'm gonna put my +2 on this guy. Like if I think, all right, my guy's been rolling, right. I'm gonna put a +2 on him. But if he loses, it's a -1.
Ooh, there you go.
Right, so I lose a point and you gain a point. So it's a 2-point swing.
The reverse could be cool because you could see someone's tired. No, you got to put him back out.
Put him back out. Yeah.
Or I want that guy to play again.
Or skip. It's like no, actually skip you this time. You have to come off and then get and then you'll play the next one. Yeah.
That's right.
You could just pretty much use all the Uno cards.
Yeah. Oh, steal a pod card.
See, now we're learning.
Steal a pod card.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, drop a pod.
Dude, drop both pods.
Yeah, the loader only card. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
See, now this is fun, That's what's really cool about, I will say, about these formats as they're, starting to get birth, is anybody who plays them now, you're like at the tip of the spear with this, Like, for instance, like Avery, I don't know if we're going to get him on, but like a guy like Avery, he's more versed in the duel than you are, which is crazy. Because you're a vetted pro, and seasoned pro, and he's an amateur player, but he knows more about the duel. So the point is these formats, they're all so brand new that it's perfect time for adaptation and adding new things to it. So thank you for whoever said that, because I think that could be really fun to do a duel, a joust where we have all its funny cards, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a cool one. Oh, ABJ's here. He's just announced it. ABJ, just so you know, we can see your name on the thing. Just so you know, it says Archie Barnes Jr. right before it says ABJ. But I do like it. I like
ABJ
is a solid. That's a solid
nickname. ABJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched his show. You guys had he was stealing magazines from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I feel like you've done that.
Yeah, I mean for sure. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
So next you're going to
Guadalajara.
When are you going there? When are you leaving?
I'm going there tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna see Arturo.
It's happening tomorrow.
Well, I'm getting there Wednesday and then hang out Thursday and then build on Friday and then Saturday joust, Sunday duel. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's exciting because this will also be the last collection of what I'm calling my heroes for the search for the best in the world on this tour. You know, so we have 7 ready right now. Yeah. So this is gonna be the final one, which is gonna be super exciting because it's like, you know, a whole year of scouring the world for the best players in the duel format, and then, you know, so we're just missing one now. Yep.
So if a field that if you've done it at a field, are you gonna change? So like next year, are you gonna probably do the tour again?
It's hard to say what I'm gonna do next year. I don't know. I do know that they're very fun and people are starting to really enjoy them. Like I had Rennick Miller reach out to me today to do something at his field. So I'm more open to fields that are interested, that want to do something.
Yeah.
You know. Giovanni's very excited and you know, inspired and wants to do more stuff there. So I'm pretty open. I mean, it was a lot of travel this year.
Yeah.
And it was fun. But, you know, I think I'd rather focus on like 2 or 3 or 4 quality fields next year where we can also start to build the community around it. You know? Because the difference was that last year we'd show up in the bus, we'd set the thing up, we did it, and then we'd leave, which was cool. Because that was kind of the first rendition. But what happened was they never continued with doing the formats afterwards, which is kind of what I wanted them to do.
You want them to continue to hold these types of events.
That's
like
right.
Here we go.
Yeah. So now this year the players or the fields that are promoters within the search for the best duel, they or Elite 101, they had to purchase the field kit.
Sure.
From Sup Air, and now they have that. So the idea is that I show up, I teach them how to run it and do these things, and then they do them on their own, and they make qualifiers and you know, have practices or, you know, jousts, fun jousts. Like Paintball Central really got it.
They've done a couple of them, right?
Yeah, so they just did the first team joust, which was a trauma versus gridlock. That's so sweet. So imagine like what we did, what you general this weekend, but Dynasty versus, you know, Heat, right? Yeah. And then you have Skinny Kevin as the general or the coach, you know, Heat, you know, Ryan, and then send out Tyler against you.
Yeah, that's such a cool concept because like we tried to get something like that for halftime at World Cup when we're pretty high on that red zone paintball game, you know, when they were talking about like all sorts of other just kind of entertaining ideas, and I thought a pro-am would always be really cool.
Yeah, so what I want to do with that is I want to do a pro-am tag team one-on-one. So it's like, you know, let's say it's you, Archie Barnes is pro, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay, so then let's just say...
like Colton Dahl or something like that.
Colton Dahl, right?
Like the kid from the Wrecking Crew.
Right, and then so it's you and him, and then Kyle and another kid from the Wrecking Crew, and it's tag team. So like there's gonna be points where you match up against each other, there's gonna be points where he matches up against you, and then you go through the whole, you know, you do it as a joust, so it's just 20, there's no race to, right? And you go, you know, go for as long as the 20 minutes or the 30 minutes or the hour or whatever it is that you propose, right? So that could be fun, because also that could be a great way to get younger players better or non-pro players better playing with you. See, that's like the thing I feel like doesn't happen so much anymore, is we don't get a confluence of younger players playing with or against pros. Because either you're going to go practice and it's going to be against another pro team, and maybe, you know, there might be somebody trying out, which could be, you know. But for the most part, you're never really going to go play a semi-pro team often.
Yeah, I mean, Damage does it a lot. You know, I want to say it's tough, right? Because you're now limited so much to that 1 week, right? They launch the layout on Wednesday, and you're literally playing the tournament the next week.
Right.
So you have like such a finite amount of time on the field that you don't necessarily want to give up reps to like a lower division team if it's going to cost you the quality of practice.
Totally.
But shout out to Wrecking Crew and then Damage, because Damage doesn't practice pro teams at all. Right? Damage practices exclusively against semi-pro teams because they don't want to make any other pro teams better, and that surely has paid off for them at the last event.
I like that.
But you could also argue that could have harmed them.
Well, I wouldn't look. Damage is lame if they say, "Oh, I don't want to make other pro teams better." Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of a cocky statement. But I will say, if you're trying to aim to make other teams better, like a semi-pro team, that's a novel concept. I like that. If you're like, "Oh, I don't want to make Dynasty better," I mean, we taught them everything anyways. We taught most of these guys everything anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like, ultimately, if you want, we should be all making each other better. Okay, but I hear you.
Yeah, but you don't want to make your competition too good.
You went over to Europe and you played with Impact and you taught Impact how to do all the drills, all this codes, everything. And I remember I was pissed because I was like, "You're teaching these guys how to play," and I remember Alex was like, "Fuck it, it's okay. That's what we do. They're gonna get all the information anyways eventually. So it's like, okay, fine, that's great. Then now we just raise the bar fully.
Right. Same thing with when I went over there with Heat. But yeah, I mean, you could say, and I don't know the last time you were. I guess you were just in Europe, playing doing the one-on-one thing.
Yeah.
Who won that one?
There was 2 winners.
Ooh.
Well, because there was one in London, which was Stoney.
Oh, I see.
And then one in Germany, which was.
Stoney won.
Yeah, Stoney won.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so that's also what's cool about this is we're discovering new players. Up and coming players like Avery Wynn, the kid Justin Hodges that won in Alabama. Then also, like this weekend, Ryan Martin was there.
Yeah,
and he played.
He took second place.
And he played awesome. And I was kind of rooting for him in a sense because he's an OG player that has taken a seat, and then now he's kind of coming back. So also what's cool about this is we're getting new and we're getting old.
And then we had the youngest player out there was Max Stancil.
Dude, that kid is super good.
Yeah.
Honestly, someone needs to pick him up really quickly because he's going to get picked up really quickly by somebody, Probably Shock.
He's on Shock Kids already.
Yeah, but if they don't pick him up,
all the BKI things.
If they don't pick him up, someone's going to gobble him up. But he's I haven't seen a kid like that in a long time. Just the way he played. There was a moment where he started to get low on himself briefly, but he picked it back up. So that was also impressive. And he ended up taking Avery 9-11, and Avery won the thing,
Yeah.
And he's 15.
Yeah.
That's what I love, and his dad supports him, and I just love to see that.
Yeah, it's cool. He built a small mini field in the backyard. At their place.
Yeah.
No, those kids are all in. He's got a brother that plays. He's been through the BKI combines. He's been through the summer camps. He plays really good, man.
I like to see that because I when we first started to do this, I didn't see the kids coming out from the BKI summer camps. I didn't see the Wrecking Crew kids, but now I've seen most of them, and I'm a fan of them. Anybody who comes to the duel, I will say I have a biased. I'm a biased fan.
Yeah.
Avery said he could come on around 5.
Yeah. Well, let's get. Do you have the link? It's the same link.
So, all right, a question for all the people out there in Spick and Span land. What do you think is the scariest thing about playing one-on-one, and why are people afraid to play? I want to know your answer. Because now I've already had numerous pros. You can't go to Thailand. People are flaking on me as a pro, and I was telling Kyle this in the car over. I'm like, man,
it's an ego thing.
This thing is not for me. I'm trying to build something for pro players that you can make money on. You should be helping me. Mouse was incredibly. Mouse came out this weekend. He was coaching Eric, yeah, and he sat with me, and Rainey was there also, and they expressed their concerns about it and being vulnerable and playing, but they're also pretty interested. And Mouse sat there with me, and we talked about a lot of things. And honestly, I think at this point, given obviously Mouse is already an exceptional player, but given what he knows now, I mean, I have to put my money on him because he sat there and was in it, And the thing is again, I'm trying to do this for pro players and amateur players, and I was telling Kyle this too. It's I never if I had an opportunity as a player and it was a good one, I took it. I know you did too. Now people are hemming and hawing. Oh, I don't know. It's no. We need to take opportunities that come to us because that's how this sport grows. And to be honest, the sport's super flatlined right now. You know, like there's a lot of good things going on in the NXL, and you know, there's some things are really good. But in terms of like really massive growth, like there's no paintball stores anymore. There's barely any fields. You know, now there's some online stuff like this, which is very helpful. But for the most part, you know, it's pretty flat. Like even this weekend, Hugo, my godson, he just turned 9. He went out and played paintball at Giant Sports here in Ramona. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they had a pretty good weekend, but it wasn't...
Oh, he went and played?
It wasn't exceptional. They played 50 cal, yeah. And so I got the whole download on how that was for them and, you know, how it worked. And, you know, pretty much it's hard, you know, to go play the sport, especially at that age. And, you know, I don't know if they'll be back, you know, but I want to try to get people to play and then capture them to stay in the whole entire industry.
Well,
you know?
yeah, and I mean, is that happening over there too?
Mm-hmm.
Bummer. Let me get out of this thing real quick. Yeah, you know, the player experience is a big factor there. I can fix this. Hold on. And I think that's something that we've talked about quite a bit. Is making sure that the player experience is a good one.
That's why no one has epilepsy.
Well, they do now. Sorry about that. That was something to do with the Zoom.
That poll was accurate. It was done the other day.
Which
about
one?
Can we last one episode without a technical difficulty?
Oh!
People said 90% no.
Yeah, there it is.
So that was it.
There it is. I was
the
launching the Zoom thing so we could get him in, but I'll do that.
So what are some answers? Any answers out there?
Yeah, a handful of people were kind of noting just the same thing. Let's go back, scroll up here. I'm gonna make this thing bigger now that we're getting older.
Yeah, that's right. Me and Ryan could be on the tag team because I'm ranked D1. No, I think I'm ranked D2.
No.
Which is just lame, though. You know, like that's what I'm saying. There's something wrong with the ranking system.
Should you be ranked below that or above that?
Should be ranked above it.
Well, let's get to the first reason. Ego.
Ego. Yeah, that's right.
I should be ranked pro still.
Well, I mean, the thing is
you
that
should definitely.
Okay,
you should
maybe
definitely
my
lose
ranking.
status.
Maybe my ranking, but technically, you know, like just because you don't play pro for, it's like, is John Richardson a Division 4 player right now? Like,
probably.
If John, no, he would go in there and just absolutely smash Division 4 guys.
Yeah, he would.
Know? You know, so that's not legitimate.
But you know.
It's kind of like when you're a million miler, you don't go beyond. You don't go below platinum.
Yeah, but right, exactly. So I'm going to lose my executive platinum status, and I'm going to be platinum.
I might not be pro, but okay, maybe I cannot go below semi-pro or something.
Yeah, and maybe there is something about that. Like, for instance,
so let's just say
I've got Rodney playing on my D4 line at WCPPL.
Right,
because he's ranked
so that's
D4.
Lame.
That's great for me.
Great for you.
Yes.
So okay,
yes.
This is how I could really rupture the whole system. If there's a D2 team,
You're
pick
ranked,
me up.
You're ranked D1.
We'll just go out there and we'll just smash everybody, and then they'll be like, wait a second, this is unfair. You know?
Do you want to play with us in the WCPPL?
I don't want to play D4.
No. Sure. You play D1. It's Premier line. In the Premier line.
Okay.
Get you on there.
No, Oliver's ranked pro.
What?
I'm back in, baby.
They just changed your status. They heard it go. Let's get this guy. Let's boost him up a little bit. But he's a low rank.
Well,
where is he?
Low rank.
He got the same points as me.
No,
That's what I'm asking.
I've got a total of 8,912 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like here we go. Ryan Martin was a perfect example of what we're talking about. I think he's ranked
here,
D3 and he made the finals. Well, yeah, but the thing is about one-on-ones is it's
you'll be semi-pro in 2025.
Oh yeah, baby.
So I'm not pro yet.
No, you're still pro
You're
now.
pro.
You'll drop down
to semi-pro.
It's
probably because
I think when you turn
events.
40, right? When you turn 40, happy birthday.
When you
get
came
half
back,
points.
When you came back and played with us at Cup 2022, you were D1.
I was D1, yeah. Okay.
And then you had to win.
There you go.
But you now score half points or something like that.
Anyways, I did notice that there was, as cool as this is and as high tech as we are now in this world, I did notice that a lot of players don't play as much because they get you know, they don't want to up rank and then if they're semi-pro, then they can't play in their local divisions. So there's a lot of weird things going on where people aren't playing because they don't want to get more rankings, you know.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that going on. So that's truly something that happens where people they stagnate. But the way that the APPA works is like you can't just be D4 for life. Like you would have to lose events. And actually it was funny because I was trying to scout some players because I think that one of the team that I coach needed to. They're like, hey, is there like a local player in Atlantic City or something? And we were talking to some guys and they're like, oh, let's see if he'll come out. But he doesn't want to rank up. He doesn't want to like.
That's right. Yeah.
Because he wants to stay D4 so he could be good. And then that circles back to why that guy will never enter the one-on-ones.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? Because it's not because anything other than he doesn't want to lose. He wants to be a big fish in a small pond.
That's right. Yeah.
So and it is certainly a problem. That's the same reason why people will just change IDs and they'll do all sorts of shenanigans to stay in a lower rank.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like it is tough, and some people have gone through the problem where they have ranked up, right? Because they're like, okay, we're doing good, and then a handful of guys are like, oh, I can't play anymore, or they get picked off, and now you're like a D2 guy who is like kind of okay because of his supporting cast, who can't really make it on a D2 team, and now he can't play on the D4 team, and he's not going to be the high guy.
Yeah.
So like people are afraid to.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking next year is just do a pro and an amateur, and the amateur is like everything between every pro who doesn't get invited to play and a D3 Ryan Martin kind of character, right? So it's like whoever, it's just you get rid of all the titles and labels of what, and everybody's in there, and it's kind of like what we were just talking about with the pro-am. It's like you're only going to get better if you're playing better people, right? So in that confluence of the amateur or the open, whatever you want to call it, you're going to have all types of different players. And maybe you'll never get a chance to play Ryan Greenspan ever in paintball. But if you enter, maybe Ryan's going to whoop your ass in the duel, but you get the experience of playing against him. And you get to say that. Or maybe you beat him. I don't know, So there's a lot of possibilities. Like right now, pros are way over here on this far side, and they don't even come over here at all.
Right.
And even like I went this year in World Cup, I took some time to go, and because this is what Alex told me to do, he's like, go back into the divisional pits and see what, and there was a whole world back there. My God, it was amazing,
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never come back here in 20 something years of going to World Cups, because we're always hyper focused on what we're doing, This year I wasn't hyper focused because I was just helping out with the team, so I wasn't, playing. And I had space, and it was like, whoa, this is cool. There's a whole other world. But the point is we need to get mixture, and that's what's cool about the joust. And that's what's cool about maybe the tag team, and that's what's cool about the open or the amateur division that I want to do next year in it. So next year I want to do a ladies division. I want to do a youth division, which I need to figure out what is the youth division, like what do people think? Because, for instance, that Max kid's 15.
He would just stomp on everybody.
There might be a couple others, but like,
well, not necessarily, because
is it 14 to 17 or is it
So it should be U16, under 16, because that's
under 16.
That's the qualification level for the current national standard. And I'll tell you what, these kids, they're good, like good.
Might be tough to do international events with that though.
Definitely not international, but you could do like if you did a couple of satellite events and then one main event in the US.
Yeah.
Where like,
well, my idea is the satellite events are happening at the fields and they're just running them, and then my big event is let's just say it's the Badlands Open. And
so the problem. So what I'm saying is you're not going to get like a big group of the younger kids or like all that talent, like because they're sparsely populated. Like there's paintball players everywhere, lots of them, but at each pocket of an area have like a few under 16 kids, so you'd have to do like a west, central, and east.
That's what I want to do. I mean, that's kind of what my vision was this year for the tour was. We had Alabama, we had North Carolina, and we had SC Village.
Yeah. So you only did 3 this year
in the U.S.
Oh, right. Okay.
But the idea. So, anyways, next year. Kids division, youth division, have to figure out the ages, a ladies, masters division, and then an open division or amateur division, which is like a much bigger pool of people, and then the pros.
Yeah, and Dan Shelley has a good point. Like you could run it at the same time as like one of the other national events in the area.
Not really, because then I don't get the pros, because the pros are hyper focused on winning nothing.
Right.
You guys are all getting paid, a bunch of money to win nothing in the NXL. So.
Which is actually funny because I was looking at the statistic about inflation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if entry fee has gone up, but prize money certainly has gone down.
Right.
Right.
Well, so like I was talking to Kyle about this also. Okay, so you're a customer of the NXL, so you know that. I mean, yeah, maybe Dynasty pays it, but you're a customer. Like you should have say in what goes on because you're a customer. Right?
Well, the customer doesn't. I mean, I'm not telling the people at Chipotle how to make a burrito.
But you can because you can tell them how you want it.
Right.
I guess you could vote if you have stock, though.
And then if you have stock, okay, now you're at another level of it. But what I'm saying is, and then you pay for paint, and then you play, and then you win like nothing, And then even if you win something, nobody remembers you anyways because there's an event next weekend, and you split it amongst 12 guys, $10,000,
$600
which is
each or
$600. So like in the duel next year, as a pro, and I'm gonna just announce this right now. Anybody who's coming to the grand finale in Thailand is going to be my first eligible pros going into 2025. Okay, so for instance, if you don't come, you're not going to be a pro next year in the duel.
Oh yeah, you explained this right, where you have to now qualify for it, right?
So the pro is going to be 16 only, and as a pro, you don't pay entry fee, you don't pay for paint, and you can win $20,000 in one day of playing.
In that juicy button.
Okay.
Air horn.
Let's get it.
Yeah, that's the juicy.
That's the juice.
So that, if you ask me, is pro. Okay. Then the amateurs, they pay a higher ticket item. They have to fight through each event to get to the finals, and then in the finals, which is the top 8, those top 8 will now be eligible to be pro. Okay, and the pros that don't make the next round will come back into the open, and then
at each round.
At each event, yeah.
Each event.
Like, for instance, let's say Max Stansel, he shows up for the amateur. You show up because you're not a pro because you didn't accept the invitation. You'll be playing in the same thing together. Now, you and Max might not even meet each other until the final rounds, right? Now, that top 8, now you and Max will go to play pro the next event. And in one event, a guy like Max Stansel can be pro, right? In this format. And then those top 8, those bottom 8 pros, they come back and they get relegated into the open, and they have to pay, and they have to, essentially fight their way back into the pros. But now let's just say, Mouse, he's already accepted the invitation to come to the grand finale. Let's say he wins, whatever. Let's say next year he's invited as the top 16, and he keeps his pro position. He does good the first round. He goes into the next round. He keeps his pro position, and then he does it again, and then he does it again. He's going to be ranked as the best dueler, and I can pay him an extra $50,000 for being the best dueler, in the world, right?
Wow.
Right? In the whole, not a series, but it's, you're keeping your position the whole way, right? So, like, now as an individual pro player or dueler, you can make $20,000, $40,000, $60,000, playing paintball if you win those events, plus another $50,000 for, the first place. Like, that's decent money, and that's just the first year. So this is just my vision. I'm just talking out loud a little bit. Nothing's set fully, but I'm just talking out loud, and I'd like to always know what people think out there in Spick and Span land, because I don't know how to do this. I know that I've retired now, and I want to care for the next future generations. So I'm trying to do my best to think on what we need to do to grow players. And I do know, as you know, money is a big ticket important factor in the sport, and you'd be lucky to get a salary from a team, right? Let's just say you get 30, 40 grand a year. That's a year. You can win a couple tournaments and make that money.
Right.
And it's a one-day tournament.
Right.
And you don't pay anything to enter into it. You just show up, and you train previously, and then you show up. To me, that's a professional thing.
Yeah, I mean, the resources that go into the training side of things, I think, are also not, they're not super easy on that side of things, right? Not for everybody. And so one bit of pushback. Let's rewind a couple of years when they did the 2-on-2. Very similar concept, right? They were trying to get more people involved.
Where was the 2-on-2?
2-on-2 was held in the U.S. It was like first place was $50,000 cash. They did all these regional events.
That was an HK thing.
No, it was an NXL Tom Cole thing.
Okay.
Right. So the NXL put together this thing to try to boost divisional paintball, because you can always find one buddy, right? Because that's one of the biggest things about 5-man is or X-Ball is I can't find guys that are committed enough to show up on the weekends to do this, because people are doing whatever. You can always get one guy.
Right.
So they did this 2-man 2v2 at World Cup, but like on the way to it, it was like there were all these regional events, and you win like a little bit of money, and then when you win your regional event.
Oh, the final one you won 50.
Right, you get invited to the final event, which the two guys will split 25 or 50,000 bucks or something.
50,000.
50 grand, yeah. The pushback.
Oh, like Ryan Martin's story, because Josh Spartan, old trauma player, won it.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And so the pushback on it was they were struggling to get a lot of people at these local events to show up for multiple events.
Right.
Because what ends up happening is if you don't win it, right? If you don't win your local one, and then there's another regional one. Say there's 2 regional ones around here. You're like, okay, I took 7th place. Well, you're paying out one spot, and it's 50 grand. So I could barely win my local one, or I tried the second time, and like there's another one. I'm not even going to enter the one. So what they were finding is they were decreasing the amount of like there was less and less people signing up for these regional events because people wouldn't go a second time because they're like, well, I'm not going to win the main event. And so it's like it's kind of like
that's an attitude, right?
It's a realization that, and the same thing goes for like look at golf, look at
you're saying
payout lower.
Payout
if you want to
like
get people
10.
to sign up, because here I am as an amateur player, right? And I'm like, I'm like to 8th place in the amateur one, and then I've got to fly to this event. I got to put myself up. I got to pay to train all this stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
like,
gonna pay out. I'm gonna pay out into the 4s for sure in the next year. And maybe into the 8s, but the idea is the Open then becomes pro, you know?
Right. So essentially, like, let me explain it. Let me explain it kind of how I know or understand it to work on like golf and surfing for sure. Is basically if you make it on the tour,
you get paid,
right? And you make it to the cut, which is that top 8 essentially.
Yeah.
So you're not, as long as you're not in relegation,
right? You're
getting what would the equivalent would be to like your travel. You're getting $1,000 or like in surfing, I think you get 12 grand just to like as long as you're in like the top whatever.
No, that's the future for sure.
Yeah, so what it does is it allows people to add or put resources towards that practice side of things, which is sometimes driving 2 hours because you need to be sharp, and that's the biggest thing. So you need to get one of these. You need to acquire one of these fields, or you need to acquire like the means to be able to set this up at your local field. Sometimes local fields only have one field.
Right.
Sometimes ASG has 4 of them. SC Village has 4 fields, so they can probably set these things up.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to set time aside because this is something that you most certainly need to practice for. And if you're going to play this event in December in Thailand, you want to be as sharp as possible. So putting resources toward this in for the future to move forward, and because you want the
I hear what you're saying, and I'm with you. I think that the concept of this being something that you could set up in your backyard is a big important thing, like because you don't need much space anymore, and even if you just have a couple bunkers, you can train for it in a sense, right? Now, okay, so the pro version of it next year, you're gonna get paid to 8, okay, right? And so the top 4 is gonna get paid heavy, and then the top 5, 6, 7, 8, they're not going to get paid as heavy, but they're qualifying and they're still in the hunt. And then the new 8 will come in. But the whole idea is that in the Open, there's a, like, let's just say you're a kid, Max Sanzo. You win the youth, okay? Now you go and you play in the Open, right? Maybe you don't do so good in the first Open, or the first Open division. Maybe, you get lost in the first round. But then you come back to the next one. And then you make the top 8. Now you go pro. Right, so there's a path.
Right. Yeah.
And then
I love that.
And then the pros is free entry, and then you get paid down, 1 to 8 for sure. And maybe even in the future, as this thing grows, you get paid down even, just for being pro. You just show up to be pro, and you get something, right? So that's definitely the future. But the idea is that the Open is the path to the pros, which then is the holy grail or the pot of gold, so to say, right? It's like once you turn pro, you're getting paid just for showing up, and you're potentially winning, X amount. So the Open, I can't do anything for, so to say, in terms of like big payouts. It's just the path. But that's how it is in skateboarding. You have to qualify an amateur, and then you get to go to the pros, and then you can win big money, and then you can get big endorsements. But the other cool thing is, even being an amateur in this, like, let's just say, who's a good example here? Dylan Boyum, yeah? Maybe he, in his local field, people like him, see how he plays, and they say, okay, Dylan, I want to sponsor you to go to this event in, Badlands, and they're going to pay the entry fee, they're going to pay for your paint, they're going to pay for your airfare. That's only $2,000 or $2,500 or $1,500 even, right? It's not even that much for him to potentially win $10,000 and to become pro the next event.
Sure.
Right? So it's, even as an outside person, I could look at Dylan and say, all right, Dylan, hey, I'm a wealthy guy, and I can afford to fund you to go to this event, which doesn't cost me that much. To send Dynasty to an event is what, 20 grand, 25 grand, 30
Something
grand?
like that, yeah.
And then you win peanuts if you even win. So that's not a good math. But like, if I like Kyle, let me just sponsor you, Kyle. I'll pay for your airfare, your hotel, your food, your paint, your entrance fee. That's $2,500, and then you can win 8 grand or 10 grand and become pro. Like, that's amazing, And you don't have to spend that because you're getting a sponsor, or you're getting somebody who is the financier, right? And maybe I'm in your pit and I'm in your box, watching your match, and that's all I can do,
Yeah.
Like a lot of people do that in other sports, you know.
Yeah.
So anyways, there's a lot of possibility, but I'm glad you got to see it because there is a team version of it, and that's the joust, And then again, I really like the duel because I feel like as an independent, and I'm an only child, so I have this, I think you have it too. Like, I need to do things by myself, There's a certain part of me that needs to do things by myself, And so if you can't find the other 4 guys to play on your team,
it's easy to find. It's easy to find one person.
It's easy to find one person and train against one person.
Yeah.
And then maybe, you do the Pro-Am. And so anyways, there's a path. Now there's no path. How does someone get on Dynasty? I mean, Kyle, tell us. You had your crazy story on, driving out here in your mom's car and, sleeping on the couches of people to turn pro. Like, it was hard.
Yeah.
And rare. Not many people do that.
Just having to meet and talk and get to know people, and then keep grinding and be at the field every weekend. And,
that's right.
Become friends with all these guys.
And there's no sure thing.
Yeah.
You could have not even got picked up. You know? And went back to, home with your tail between your legs.
And so how would it work for just the AM thing? It would just be open registration? Like, you got to, it's like you're on Ticketmaster, you got to have a bot
either
register?
there's 2 ways.
So many people that would want to be in there.
Well, I think that there's a high ticket item. It's a high ticket. There's a barrier to entry in terms of price.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like, for instance, like the World Series of Poker, right, is $10,000. Now, I'm not going to say it's the same.
Sure.
Like,
that makes sense.
But okay, I'm not going to go play the
yeah.
World
How
Series
good
of
do you
Poker
actually think you are?
Because I'm not going to pay $10,000. But now maybe if I pay $1,000 to have to play the duel, that's enough where I take it serious.
Well, it's funny.
But it's also not enough to, just. Go there and just, waste the money and get my ass kicked by somebody.
Right.
I mean, I'm glad you brought that up because this is a perfect example of what you're talking about. When Rainey entered the World Series of Poker last year, Tigerware sponsored him, and I think he did this with a couple people to pay for his entry. So we paid $1,000 to help him, but we also got a guarantee of 10% if he was to win.
Right. See, that's dope.
Yeah, and he wore Tigerware shirt and hat, so
Yeah.
if he was on the main stage, it would be
That'd be cool. Yeah.
broadcasted. Yeah.
So that could be also a thing. Maybe in the future, the amateurs actually
Rev share.
The amateurs actually a pretty good payout. Maybe it's again 20 grand or something. And then as a proprietor or a financier, I'd say, I'll pay for your whole things, but give me half or something, or 20% or 10%. You know? Then I know I get my money back if you win. And you have to wear my product. Like, that's cool. Right? Like, you could even sponsor people for the Spicka Span Show.
Dude, we're ready.
Yeah,
we need to do that. We already sponsored Dynasty. We got a jersey.
They're on their way out, I heard.
They really are. Did you watch the last event?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. What do you think? What did you think about it?
I mean,
we had Kevin on last week.
It's
and
hard. It's hard to
fully.
It's hard to fully pinpoint it, but I mean, everything's close, right? It's like you lose 2 and you win 2. It's hard. It's not that you're out, but that's what unfortunately happens now in paintball. Like, the Russians win one event, and everybody's like, "Oh, the Russians."
They won 2, but yeah.
1-2 in one weekend, so they had a good weekend.
And
literally, I don't think they've won a tournament in like 13 years. Like, there was a memory that came up on Facebook. Remember when J-Rab beat us in like Pennsylvania,
2013 or something?
And it was literally 2013.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was 10 years ago, you know? So he's got a good, every 10 years, he's got a good weekend that weekend. So, you know, in 10 years, put money on them.
We looked at the stats. Where are the stats on? Was it on Major League Paintball's the best people in the world?
But I will say I am a Russian fan now because they are playing with reckless abandonment, and I dig it, you know? I will say. That's how I like it, you know? And I like how Damage played too, you know? They did good, you know. So, anyways, what's cool is now there's a new style that's coming back.
Yeah, we talked about it. You know? I think when J-Rab was actually on the show about the changing the dynamic of how the game is played, which is funny because I'd always been I'm always hypercritical of the no mistake paintball because I feel like there's a path to winning from that, but it's like very finite. Like you have to make sure that everybody's dialed in and you're playing with your fingers crossed. You're hoping that the guy that gets up onto your side of the field doesn't make a good shot, or like you're able to like hold the lane perfectly.
Right.
And it's just a really low scoring, low probability win factor. So
yeah,
it's
well, I mean, I think that's how we used to play, you know, and then we moved, and then Dynasty got very intelligent in the last couple of years, you know.
Yeah. See,
and you've always been intelligent.
Thank you.
But you know, what I'm saying is now maybe the whole perfect paintball thing is getting corrupted and breaking, and there's no such thing, you know. It's actually just playing really good. I mean, because you also, like, I watched some points. I mean, even the one against the Russians in the Pittsburgh or wherever that was before, it was like there was still a lot of mistakes, you know, that were not perfect at all. You know, it's like, and you're trying to play perfect, but they're just kind of like, fuck it, we're gonna play good and we're gonna win. And it's like kind of interesting, you know, to see, you know, because it's almost like the gusto is what wins, you know, not the perfect thing anymore, you know. And I personally, no offense if you take no offense on this, but like, I don't think you can play perfect paintball unless everybody's practicing every weekend, honing their skills to the utmost, because then you could maybe say, okay, we're so freaking proficient right now that we can't make a mistake. But if you're not, you should just play jazz, like what Alex likes, you know. Yeah, well, because then you're just relying on skills and having fun and maybe the flow and the energy, instead of being like, you know, we're so practiced right now and so sharp that we can't lose, which Dynasty has had phases of that, you know. Yeah,
and that's it. Is he in? Okay, cool.
I mean, also, it's the same thing. I think I told Kyle this. I was like, you know, there's no reason for you guys to even think anymore on how to play. Just go and just freaking jam, you know. You know, just go and just freaking do whatever you need to do, because thinking about it isn't doing you any good, and it's not doing many people good, you know.
Yeah,
I think most of these teams don't even think very much. They just play. I don't think they know how to think, you know. And again, no diss to any team, but you know, I think they're just playing, and sometimes those shots land, you know. Especially with these fields now, it's just so you can't. What I hated was when a field, I couldn't read the field because it was too congested, and these fields are too congested now to even be able to control it, you know.
Super.
They've been too congested for a couple years, you know. But anyways, what I love about Avery, who's about to come in, is he's the perfect example of exactly who I was looking for in doing these duels. You know, he's a young kid. He's very eager to play and to practice and to hone his skill. His whole goal is to go pro. You know, like he's aiming for that pie in the sky, and I can reflect that because that's what I was looking for. That's what you were looking for. It's like, we want to go pro, and so he's doing everything he could possibly do to go pro. You know, I tried to get him a practice with Revo. I know Rich has been taking him out to the New York Extreme practices. Thank you. And you know, now he's come. He's won last year, and then he actually
won at SC Village last year.
No, he won in Arizona last year, and then he came to the grand finale, and he lost to the guy who took second place.
Okay.
And it was a serious battle, but he just keeps showing up and keep trying. He showed up to Alabama. He had to face another contender who won last year, Smitty. He lost to Smitty in the first round. Pretty humbling, and he went home and just, you know, drilled. And dude, he looked amazing this weekend. You know what I liked about how he looked this weekend is he wasn't doing anything too crazy. He just was playing very solid, and you know, it just showed. You know, he beat Todd Boyer, who was a contender. He had to beat Max Stansel. And then, you know, he won in the finals against Ryan Martin, you know? So it's like, whoa, you know, I mean, impressive. And he's got the path now. And I would put my money on it that Avery gets picked up on a pro team next year. You know?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump over here to the NECTR projector.
Ooh, NECTR projector.
NECTR projector.
Nice.
Surfing it up. And let's see how charismatic he is, because that's a big one in paintball.
He's a sweetheart.
Dude, that's fantastic. All right, we're getting him in right now.
NECTR.
NECTR projector. All right, hold on. Let me I have to fix. Every time that I do this, Avery, you there?
What up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
NECTR earphones.
NECTR earphones. Hold on.
Hold on, I can't hear him. Turn it up a little bit.
Hold on, I'll turn it up. I got you.
Turn it up.
Yeah, give us a little mic check.
What up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Oh,
Sweet.
I see what he's doing. I see what Oliver's being.
Dueler!
Oliver's being
What
funny.
up?
All right. Hey, can you turn your phone to the center?
Yeah.
There it is.
you
Yeah. Let's move you all the way over here. Put you right in the middle here.
So, Avery, how's
Sure.
it feeling? Are you riding the wave right now? Are you feeling good after the big win this weekend? Tell us how you're feeling and what's been happening the last couple days.
Yeah, man, I'm feeling great. Trying to catch up on the sleep deprivation. Had the drive home from California to Vegas that Sunday night, so it was quite the trek. But no, it was fantastic. Definitely still doesn't quite feel real yet. Took yesterday kind of off, and then got right back on the workhorse this morning. So got our workouts in and doing all of our stuff and getting ready for Thailand.
So
So
so he's invited to Thailand. That's what you win. Or did you give him cash too?
No, he gets the invitation. Yeah, so
And it's all expenses paid for him.
for the duelers, it's going to be hotel and paint. So they're
Hotel
going
and
to have
paint.
to get there.
Okay, you just got to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
And then so you're gonna pick one more winner in Mexico next week.
that's right. So there's going to be a Latin American winner.
Dope.
And so at this point, we'll have like a full international squad with 3 American winners, which are all super good. I mean, Avery, Dylan Bounds, and Justin Hodges. And these, I mean, you know, American paintballers are just, you know, they're another grade above the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see because the Thai guy could be a good winner.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Scrappy.
Yeah, he's been practicing really hard, so it'd be interesting, you know, who they're gonna match up. I mean, the kid from Rosardo brother from Canada, he's a super good player. So you know, it'd be big for Canadian paintball if a Canadian won, but you know, he's got to get through Avery.
Avery, tell me what team do you play? Do you play on a team right now? What are you ranked?
yeah,
Play out of Vegas, I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
yes, sir. I played for the Vegas Brawlers,
Okay.
and then I'm playing with Outlaw Anodizing for World Cup.
Oh, sweet. Those guys are great.
So what's your practice regiment like? How do you drill? Where do you drill? What do you do? You know, how often? Give us a little download on what you're doing to prepare as a dueler.
Yeah, so we used to have a field that was open 5 days a week, and that was a super huge blessing. Unfortunately, it just recently closed down. So we're down to a field that's open 3 days a week. So we try to, you know, get there when it opens, stay till they kick us out, and get as many drills and stuff as possible. And then outside of that, just trying to work out at least like 5 days a week, making sure like physical fitness is there.
Yeah, because you said that was funny. I liked it, which was so he matched up against Ryan Martin. Ryan Martin was playing really good, but Ryan Martin was kind of toast. So what's interesting about the duel is like if you play one duel, it's not so
Not bad,
hard.
not horrible.
Yeah, but then you play the next duel, and it's like a little bit harder, and then you play the next duel, it's much harder, and then the final duel is like pretty. You know, you've
Yeah,
been
you're
playing
gassed.
a
You
lot
have to
of.
play 4,
Yeah.
Avery?
Yeah, yep.
But what Avery said, which was funny, he's like, I could play another 2 duels right now. And I was like, whoa, good on you, you know? Because Ryan Martin could not play another one, you know?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, physicality is a big factor. How old are you?
23.
23?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I mean, physicality is a big factor. Ryan Martin's got to be in his 30s at this point.
Who used, and I don't think he's playing as much. I mean, maybe he practiced
No,
a lot.
maybe-
I don't think he's
Right.
playing as much
Playing
as
as much
Avery.
as Avery is.
How, did you use your timeout in the final?
I didn't use a single timeout
Did
the whole
he?
weekend.
Tight. That's
Yeah,
tight.
I think he
Not a
did.
single
Yeah.
timeout.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what's funny is like, okay.
Wait, hold on.
It's-
Did Ryan use one?
I believe so.
Yeah, he used-
I
I
believe
got
so.
That's what
I've
I
got all
did
the
when
stats.
when I played with Clay, because I was about to use one, and then he used it, so I knew he was tired. So then I'm like, no, I'm not gonna use mine.
The thing is
I think
timeouts
that's a
don't
factor.
necessarily reflect on your tiredness. they could. There's 4 reasons to use a timeout. One, if you have a gun malfunction or a paint malfunction or something within the first 20 seconds as you're going out there, and you just need a new gun, so you got to call timeout, right? 2 is, if you're gassed and you need a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, if you want to ice the guy, if the guy's been on a run, you need to throw your timeout at him. Like Ryan Martin should have maybe thrown his timeout just to, cool you down a little bit. Sometimes you can throw a double timeout, and then now the guy's really much cooler, which is a strategic,
You get 2 timeouts?
You get 2 timeouts, so you could use 2 in a row if you needed to,
And it gives you how long?
1 minute each, yeah.
Avery, what would you say is one thing, because you won the one in Arizona last year, you won this one, with the exception of, because I had you on my team on Saturday, so with the exception of having a working loader, what would you say is one thing that would really attribute to the success of playing this format?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like Oliver said it best like a while ago. I mean, it just like highlights your fundamentals. Like if you're not a fundamentally really good paintball player, this format is really hard. Like there's no, like you can't hide behind your teammates. You can't hide behind like good communication. Like you have to be able to go out and shoot at people, which is, I mean, what we have to be really good at anyway. But like you really have to be super sharp as far as like your snap shooting is concerned. And then another thing is like your strategy wise, right? Like you were saying, like knowing like, okay, hey, if you're going to shoot at the dude, don't just shoot center of his bunker, like shoot where he's going to be. Like,
okay, so let me add on that, because Ryan Martin was like kind of a bully all weekend, like top left out of the first temple on the left side. So there's a temple and a Dorito, and he was like kind of feasting out of there, and you shot him maybe 4 times in a row in that spot. And then he kind of didn't have an answer to what to do after that anymore. And he tried to make moves, and he didn't get so rewarded. So was that a strategy thing, or was that a luck thing, or what was that? Did you watch him? Did you know what he was going to do? Did you go in there with a game plan?
Yeah, 100%. I was able to watch pretty much everybody's games, or everybody play, except for the first guy that I played. But yeah, saw Ryan was a super strong gunfighter and liked to play over the top. Knew that I was a super strong gunfighter and was like, all right, I'll roll the dice the first couple points. See, if he's beating me, then I'll switch it up. But I ended up, having the upper hand on him there. And so I just kept running it until he didn't give it to me anymore. And then, I mean, at the end of the day, like the more often you're shooting at the guy, the better, right? So like if you're hiding, you are at a disadvantage because now I can move, I can do whatever I want to do. So I knew like if he was going to beat me in that position, I would need to get creative and figure something out. But I also knew if I was going to beat him there, that was exactly where I wanted to be. I knew I didn't want to give that up just because he wasn't going to give me something to shoot at.
Yeah. And one thing I did like about you, and I don't know how you got it, I think maybe it's just been playing with Rich or something, but he was super precise with his bonus balls and how to bonus ball people and where to bonus ball people and like because that's a big part of the game is getting under their skin or shooting them in positions where they might have to like take more time to like wipe off, because you only get 20 seconds. So if you shoot somebody in the pack a bunch of times or in the goggles, like the first guy you played, I mean, you annihilated him multiple times, and he only had 1 pit crew. And it was funny because Todd Boyer was with me while we were watching, and I was like, Todd, this guy's understaffed. He's like, I'm gonna go help him. And I saw Todd went to go help him, which I'm sure you were kind of like, why is Todd helping this guy, But the point is Todd's a team player, and he was trying to just help the guy, but the guy was very understaffed, and then you were shooting him a lot in strategic places.
Where do you want to shoot him? Pack, mask?
Yeah, I mean anywhere. I mean, he was shooting him in the body too, but like in a tactful way, like where it was still being played. It wasn't like just a bonus ball for no reason. It was like it was very professional. It looked like it's exactly how I would do it, if I was playing a competitor.
That's exactly what Oliver told me before I played him. He goes, yeah, you want to bonus ball the guy I like to do that to really get in their head.
Dude, you bonus ball the shit out of me, dude. This is the score for Avery. Where are we at here?
There.
So that's...
Did we tell Oliver about Rainey's idea on how to beat the Russians?
So that's the score right there.
Ryan?
10 to 4.
10 to 4. Martin used 1 timeout, and Avery had...
Oh, you smoked him.
Avery had a couple dunks on him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think 3 dunks might be incorrect, because that's a lot of dunks, but I think you had at least 2. Sometimes my fingers are fat and I press it extra times.
Rainey's idea, how we can beat the Russians as a league? Remember what he said?
Just bonus ball
food poison.
No, bonus ball their knees.
Oh, yeah. Bonus ball their legs, he said. Shoot him in the leg. Oh yeah, the knees and the legs because
Like,
he's like, because it hurts to kneel down when you're like getting shot in the legs a bunch. Like, what are you?
He's like, I can't
about?
run as much if everybody in the league shoots him in the
Yeah.
knees. I'm like, dude, that's so hard to do, to like organize.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
We got Ryan Martin with his
Sock hat.
sock hat. There you go.
Dude,
Avery.
good for him. Good for Ryan Martin too. For
Yeah, do you know who Ryan Martin is at all, Avery?
Yeah. Well, as soon as I beat him, a bunch of my biggest buddies texted me and were like, "Dude, you beat Ryan Martin?" I was like, "Yeah." So that was cool.
Yeah, because I was just telling before you got on, like, you're exactly what the type of player that I'm really searching for is somebody who's young and up and coming and who cares and is practicing and is being diligent with their growth, and honestly, I wasn't so impressed when I saw you play in Arizona, and then you played better at the grand finale, and then you had a little bit of a hard fall against Smitty, obviously in Alabama, but this weekend, I mean, you just played better than everybody, and it shows, and it just goes to show also how you can become very proficient at this in a kind of a short amount of time. And then I'd be curious to know, like, what's going on in the other paintball, in the other formats. Are you getting tryouts by pros? I know that you're working with Rich a little bit, so you're becoming now a paintball, your name is out there, so it's like, what's going on? Is it translating to the other formats, your skill level?
Yeah, 100%. 100% it translates. I mean, I play the one primarily, so like at the end of the day, once you're in like dual range, like that's where you want to be. Like as a one, you want to be really close to the guy. You want to be like a bunker or 2 bunkers apart. And so yeah, 100%. Like the skills translate. Because at the end of the day, most of the time it is just you're 1v1ing the guy in front of you, and then you're 1v1ing his 2, and then you're shooting dudes in the back most of the time. So yeah, the skills translate 100%.
This part comes from Junior from BFP Gear. He sponsors a segment on the show about asking a question specifically. There's 2 questions. One's a skill set question, and one's a mentality, I guess, kind of question. One from BFPgear.com is do you feel height or physicality? Like, obviously physicality we talked about, so that covers that part. But do you feel like height has an advantage on this field? Or being shorter? Do you want to be smaller or taller, or what? Is there an optimal kind of like body configuration?
Yeah. I mean, one of my buddies, Vince Newell, played in the duel, and I mean he's like 8 feet tall. And so when we were walking the field together, he was like, "Dude, must be nice to be like the perfect height where you're just barely over the Aztec." And I'm like, "Yeah, like it is pretty sick, like to be that like sweet spot of." Yeah, it is pretty sweet to be like that sweet spot right over the Aztec. I would say like being too short to see over the Aztecs is definitely a disadvantage.
Big time disadvantage. I'm gonna tell you that from firsthand.
But
accounts.
You can do it. I've seen you do it.
Dude, but if you're playing on your absolute tiptoes like this, you're not accurate. Like you can't come up and like snap shoot like someone who can like you were kind of right there, and you already play it like on your tiptoes as is with your tank on your shoulder, and you like to play like this. So having like an extra 2 or 3 inches is a big factor.
You can get those
CEO shoes. He's got a whole closet full of them. He's got white, gray, black, 3 pairs of each one.
Why don't you play with those? That'd be fun.
Maybe I need to.
Shout out Dylan Bounds. Dylan Bounds is in here also. I'd like to get Dylan Bounds in here if
Dylan,
we can.
go on Instagram and message the Spick and Span account.
No, I already messaged.
Do you know who Dylan Bounds is, Avery?
Yeah. We played with him, right? I played with him at Outlaws Field in Texas before practice for Chicago. He's a super cool dude.
So you get to you got a nice little network. So are you from Vegas, or how do you have? Okay, so you're from Vegas, and you've just been able to play and network, and so you're gonna be playing with some guys on Texas teams. Have you played a bunch of NXL's events?
No, this will be my first World Cup actually.
Oh no way!
Yeah, first World Cup. So
killer!
It was a good time, and then 4th NXL event.
Okay.
So yeah, excellent. I played pretty much all of the WCs for the last like 4 years. But yeah,
So what's your goal as a player, Avery, as a young 23-year-old player? Like where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Like what kind of mark do you want to make on this industry?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I want to play pro for sure. And then honestly, like I'm so stoked with like whatever you have planned for next year. I know we got to talk about it a little bit in Alabama. So I mean, the idea of like a pro one-on-one thing would be so cool. But yeah, I definitely want to play pro. Want to, make my last name mean something. That would be super cool.
What's your favorite pro team? What's the dream pro team you want to play on?
Dream pro team I want to play on? That's tough, man. I honestly, I don't think I have an answer to that question. Obviously, like Dynasty, like everybody wants to play on Dynasty, but like I think it's a lot like people too. Like I've met so many pros and like everyone's so cool, and like getting mentored by all these people. Like, I mean, I got to work under Ryan at this for the first time as my general. Been talking to Kyle a bunch at WCs, and like just the way that these guys see the game is so cool. Like honestly, I would like to play with all of them and just like learn from these guys, because they have such like, they're all so good, but they have such different like views on things. Like Kyle views the field differently than Ryan, and they're both right, but they're right for different reasons. It's really
Dude, I like this kid.
Oh yeah.
So what about and you know why I like him? This is another thing. So I said something on Instagram. I said, we're coming to a field near you, and Avery was like, I'm going to Arizona to play the one-on-one. Like he heard the call and was like, took off and went. Whereas then most people are like,
well, can you put one near me? So I'm so glad that you said that last time you were on the show. Is like, you were highly critical of these guys that were like, oh my gosh, you need to come to my field because I'm the best guy. Like I need to show you. So can you come to me? And it's like, dude, if you're the best, like, you got to try to make some sacrifices to kind of like just bend a little bit. Like, we can't go to every single field and see every single person. You've got to seize the opportunity when it comes. And we go through the same thing with the national teams, right? A lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm going to vouch for this guy. It's like, he's really good. He can commit to going to the, okay, can the kid commit to going to practice in Boston and then flying to Paris? Yeah, well, then he should commit to coming to the combine, to showing us that he's actually, like, that's the first hurdle to kind of this barrier to entry that we talk about.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, you're doing such a good job, like reaching out, networking, trying to find like this network of players and talking to other pros and talking to other players on other teams and getting yourself to these events and then putting in the extra effort and extra work. What do you do for work? Do you have a job?
I'm a software engineer.
Dude, excellent. Great work. And what do you do during the summertime when I think you guys were at like 130 degrees for like a month and a half straight?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you get used to it. Like the first 2 weeks of like 100 plus, you're like, man, this sucks. And we get up at like 4 a.m. and we're like out there and it's like 10 and it's like, all right, it's 1,000,000 degrees outside. But then by like a couple weeks, you get used to it and roll through it.
Right on. Well,
there's a lot of pool parties in Vegas
too when it's Oliver practices at the Wynn.
Yeah, that's
he brings all his gear in there and starts doing back shows.
Yeah,
let's get Dylan in here right now. I'm gonna make this. He's joining in right here. Should populate on the
Avery,
screen.
which pro player would you? I don't want to say hate, but would you be most timid about?
Worried about dueling against? Who would you think are the best? Like, give us your. We'll make it better here.
Yeah,
give us your top 3, like guys for a 1v1. What up, Dylan?
What's up, man? That's tough. That's a tough question.
Well, you got to throw some out. You can't answer.
No one's allowed to answer like Skinny Kevin did last week.
He came last week and he didn't answer a single goddamn question.
Oh man, my friend. No, I mean that's tough. I mean honestly, like I'm really excited to see how like Mouse does, just because he's like known as that like attacker, and so he like when he plays paintball, he plays like that close to people. So I'd be interested like to see. Honestly, I'd be interested to see like Mouse and Marcelo play each other, because like Marcelo typically is like at the home. We know he's really good at like gunfighting and lanes and stuff. Like, so it. So I want. Plan coming out in the door.
Oh, we're losing him.
All right, well, hey, welcome Dylan Bounds. Dylan Bounds is is the winner from the North Carolina event, and I'll take my hat off to you, Dylan, because man, did you impress me, Dylan? Actually, I will say, go horizontal, Dylan, on the phone. I will say, Dylan is the guy who I'm afraid to play.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to play Mouse. I'm definitely not afraid to play you. I'm not afraid to play you. I'm afraid to play Dylan. Dylan scared me.
Does he bonus ball people too?
No, he is actually a gentleman, even though he's got a bunch of tattoos. He looks scary, but he's a gentleman. He's actually got a Hormesis tattoo, which is pretty cool.
You should be scared to play me after we got into
scared
that.
of you. Yeah.
Mexican standoff.
That's right.
At the field.
But Dylan was a class act, and I'm super glad that he won. Actually, I didn't see him the first match, and then he kept just getting progressively better. And I think the final like 2 matches, if you go back and watch them on the YouTube, like he just absolutely slays the guys. And the guy who he played in the finals, Chris Williams, who went to Ironman afterwards. You know, so. You know, it's going to show that when you play the duel, you know, you get some credit, and you know a lot of guys go pro. Dylan, has anybody called you to pick you up now after you won? What's been happening since you won?
Nah, nothing really has changed since I won. I was kind of hoping so, right? But I got patience a little bit, and it's late in the season now anyway, so
yeah. So what have you been practicing for for Thailand? Are you ready?
Yeah, so last weekend Jared Lackey was out at PBC and we did a little round. Sunday I did rounds all day.
Did you crush Jared Lackey?
I'd say it was like 50-50. There was a lot more Simos than I'd encountered before.
That's how
one thing I got to do, I was out in Texas a little bit. I got to do one-on-ones with Mike Arena, and that's the first person to beat me by like,
dude,
I think
he's a
we played
beast.
25 one-on-ones, and I got maybe 6 on him.
Damn.
Yeah,
Like,
Mikey, that's a great. That you should try to get him out there.
I'm gonna get.
That's
him.
actually a really. That's a good. He's such a sleeper, man. That his shot is. He reminds me of Brandon Short. His that first
actually,
shot.
Dylan's a very similar to Mikey Arena type of player.
Foley's.
Yeah. What about? So, do you know Avery, Dylan?
No, I don't. He looks like a little younger player. But I don't. How old is he?
23.
He's in here with us too.
Oh, is he 23? Okay. No, I saw the guy that won in Alabama was like 17.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't tell how old Avery was, but I was like, little younger dude.
Are you afraid of them if they're younger?
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Are you?
So that's one thing I feel like I have an advantage on some of these. Like Chris Lynn and Brody Lewis, like I was lucky I got to play them at like 21 or 23, however old Lennon is. But like by the time they're my age, they'd be nasty. So I feel like I have an advantage and maybe a slight disadvantage because the younger guys are a little bit more athletic and can maybe have better legs than I can. But I could definitely got a little bit more.
Did you feel that there was any kind of physicality concerns when you were playing it?
Yeah, after the whole event, I could barely walk the next week, which was crazy. After the first match, I was a little worried Brody was going to beat me just because he could probably walk more than I could.
Oh shit! Yeah, because I mean, what you were saying, Avery, you were like, I could keep playing.
Yeah.
And I remember we talked to Tommy. Is Tommy allowed to come to the other one?
So Tommy's going to be invited. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he was like. I guess you said he was cramping up. Is it the same exact format, the exact same everything? Because he was like, I guess, spazzing out.
Well, so this is the thing. Like I was telling, I think I might have said it. It's like the first duel isn't that hard, but then the next one's harder.
They're progressively stacked.
You know, and you got to be waiting there all day. And yeah, it's only 1 day of work, but for the most part, you know, it's still pretty intensive. I love that. So Dylan, have you been tracking like any of the other duelers? You know.
Oh yeah, easy pickings.
Is there anybody that is that you're feeling a little bit of
The only person I ain't really, and I know I'm not trying to sound like big headed or anything, but like
no, you've already you should have said that a long time ago. But keep going.
Outside of the U.S., not really worried about the guys. I'm more so worried about last year's winners, or maybe Avery. Avery had a quick little gun off the break.
Have you already posted the videos for this?
No.
Or just you just saw some content?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching it live when he won.
Okay, nice.
Okay, it was live.
Whose live were you tuned in on?
So, there's no way I lose to some 17-year-old. No offense from the dude from Alabama. But yeah, Avery was or the guys that won last year are my biggest competition in my mind.
And okay, so let me back up here to cover the Thailand event really quickly before we ask you guys some questions about this. So there's gonna be a pro-only event, and then there's these guys have their other event. So there's two separate events, correct?
So like just like we did last year, the grand finale, Avery was in there. He had to play Travis Newsom. So Bounds is gonna be in there. We're gonna pick out of a hat. We're gonna see who you have to play that day. So it could be the 17-year-old, and you're gonna have to play him best 2 out of 3.
Oh.
And then you go to the next round, and then the finals.
All on the same day.
Yeah. So the thing is like this is what I was talking to Mouse about.
So you could be playing. You could play 5 matches.
Potentially.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be.
So Avery went. He went 1 and 2 last year, right, Avery?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yep.
And then Travis got that extra match, and then actually that helped him. So then Travis played the next one, won it, and then had to go against Greenleaf. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then I guess there's obviously some strategy in that. You definitely it would for some of the older guys out there, playing an extra match is like really tough.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially,
or an extra 2 matches if it goes to all 3, right?
Yeah.
No, but only.
It's only the first one's best out of 3.
Only the first one's best out of 3.
Right. But it could be instead of 4 matches to win, you could play 6 or
no 5.
Yeah.
5. Yeah. So what about? Do you have a pit? Do you have a coach? Have you been working with anybody?
I've been working with myself. I had this kid I work with playing paintball, and his dad helped me at the local one.
But what are you gonna do for the grand finale? Are you gonna bring somebody out, or
I just need someone to throw paint in my hopper, really.
Yeah, just hire someone out there. Oliver's got plenty of.
Was that Avery? Was that your dad that was out there helping you?
Andy's gonna kill me, dude. No,
Okay.
that is not my dad. He's been my coach for a while.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
no, he is not my father.
Okay.
I thought
As much as I joke about,
Somebody said it was, so I was like, okay,
Yeah.
But I saw there's a lot of cool. There was a guy out there with his girlfriend. She was there's 2 guys out there with their girlfriend as their coach and pit crew, which is fun, which is funny. I've seen a lot of funny dynamics. Brother, sister.
Would you recommend? So here, Churro asked about tips. Would you guys recommend having you kind of want to have somebody in your corner that can help identify some of the things like what you guys were talking about, Ryan Martin's weaknesses? Do you feel that it's good to have like a coach out there with you that kind of knows the game rather than just hiring the guy that's going to be working the concession stand there, Dylan?
So what I think once you're out there, it's like there's no one else that can help you. You know what I mean? On you, like for me, it's figuring out what they're doing and adjusting to their game.
But see, that's what a coach can help you with, is he can see what they're doing.
Yeah. But
well, what do you think? What do you think, Avery?
It's all going so quick too. You maybe by the time you get done and hit you got 10 seconds to run over there and get.
Are you breaking into a house right now?
Dude, hold on 1 sec. My dog's losing it.
Oh, it's Avery.
Avery.
Yeah, but so ideally you have a coach, Dylan, that's for you, and you have a coach that's watching them, and you have a pit crew that's helping you fill pods, So you got to reach out. Maybe, you can pit crew for Mouse, and he can coach you or something like that, So you got to reach out. You guys got to make buddy-buddy with the pros.
That's the move, is make buddy-buddy with the
pros. I would love for Mouse to put paint in my hopper. We'll see. I really want these guys in a duel, honestly. The divisional stuff's gonna be cool, but going head to head with a real pro hitter would be.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. Oh, so there is gonna be a duel.
You mean a joust?
Yes.
We're gonna do a joust. Yes.
Like the pro-am. That's gonna be the pro-am.
No, so what's gonna happen? Okay, this is the breakdown.
Yeah,
I'm gonna follow you guys up with this more because all the duelers that have won are freaking out. But I mean, I still have one more guy to collect next weekend. So as soon as that's done, I'm gonna send out more information. But the way it's gonna go is there's gonna be a ticket sale that people can buy to come. You're gonna get entrance to the joust. You're gonna get front row seats to the search for the best in the world, and you're gonna get front row seats for the pro invite. You're also gonna get a pro seminar from one of the pros that come. So we're gonna do an hour-long, 45-minute seminar photo session, right? And then kick a party. We're gonna go to have a party and blah blah blah, all this great stuff of going to Thailand, right? So one day is the pro seminar, Thursday. Friday is the joust. Saturday is the search for the best event, and then Sunday is the pro.
I see.
Right. So it's a 4-day experience. We've got a 5-star hotel. It's super nice, super dialed, beautiful big breakfasts in the morning. If you've never had an Asian hotel breakfast, you should just come just for that because it's like a banquet. It's amazing.
Wet eggs and they're good though.
It's good, man. It's good. And then
hot soup for breakfast. If you haven't had hot soup for breakfast, hot fish soup for breakfast, you have not lived.
Dylan, have you ever been to Asia?
I've never been out of the United States.
There you go. Avery, have you ever been out of the USA?
I've been to Mexico, but no, never been to Asia. So
okay,
super stoked. It'll be a good time.
Have you ever been to Thailand?
No, just Bali.
You and I went to Thailand.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you're invited, bro. You know, if you
Hey,
can.
Oliver,
Let's go.
what made
When we're
you
done
choose
here, let's
Thailand?
go.
I
Let's
need
go ask
you.
the old lady.
Say it again.
What made you choose Thailand out of anywhere else in the world?
Okay, so
Yeah.
I was lucky. It's a good question. I was lucky that this happened because the first guy is kind of a beast. His name's Oat, who won. He's kind of like an older player in Asia, and he's never really got his moment. So he finally had his moment. So I was like, okay, hey, are you ready to come to the grand finale? It might be in the U.S. And he was kind of like, in the U.S.? Like, he can't come to the U.S., you know? So, you got to realize how blessed we are as Americans. We can go to a lot of places, but a lot of people can't come to here, you know? So instantly I had to pivot. And honestly, the Thailand event was so cool and so fun. And like, I remember when Ryan and I used to go to Asia, I remember they brought us to Malaysia, and we didn't even know where Malaysia was on the map, you know? I remember going to the airport, and we were like, me and Yosh and Ryan were like, Kuala Lumpur, like, where is this, in the world? We were like, super young, like wet behind the ears of travel. And it was so fun. It's like such a different world. It's so exciting. It's so foreign that it's just, this is also why you play paintball, is to get out and to go see the world.
That was, yeah.
So to have it here in America, it's kind of lame, like we're going to go see the world, and we're going to bring other people who want to come to witness this, and then potentially in the future, what I'd like to do is have, one always in Thailand, maybe one in Canada, one in Mexico, maybe one or two in America, so it's an international thing, because I want to get the best players from everywhere competing, because look, I'm a fan of both of you. I'm a fan of you, Dylan. I love your style, the way you play. I'm a huge fan of you, Avery, and your work ethic and what you've achieved now. I want more of you type of guys, and I need to find who you are, and if I didn't do this duel, I wouldn't know who you guys are. We wouldn't even be here on the Spick and Span show. So I'm trying to create and find players, and I want to know who they are from South America. I want to know who they are from Asia or Europe. I want to know where are the best players. Like, that's my whole mission. We're searching for the best. So, it's like, come out wherever you are. And if you don't come out, I'm not going to see you. I can't find you. And if you come out and you make a splash like both of you guys did, you get rewarded, and I hope, Dylan, you get picked up on a pro team, and I know, Avery, you're going to get picked up on a pro team here soon, so, and one of you guys is going to get $15,000 cash for playing one-on-one for one day.
Then they have a big prize package too.
They got a $15,000 cash prize too.
Dope. Okay, real quick. Avery and Dylan, who would you guys, if you could choose one pro player to play against, who would it be?
You go first, Avery.
Me go first.
He kind of said Mouse, I thought. But...
No, he said that was the three players we thought, but he didn't give us two others.
Okay, here's a similar question. What pro player do you think you play the most like?
Okay.
And then we'll go back to Ryan's, because I'm interested to know that one too.
That's a great question. I mean, I would love to play like Mouse. I think that's like, I definitely try to play like him. I don't know if I'm there, but yeah, I definitely would like to try to play like
You're definitely not there.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's like, no, 100%.
I don't think I'm there.
That's a good place to start. What about you, Dylan?
I think everyone growing up in the era I grew up playing in tried to mimic you, Oliver. And then as I got older, I got to see, it's funny you played Measy or Ryan Martin in the finals. I really liked how he played back in the day. He played on Top Gun, Dynasty Entourage, maybe the Iron Man for a little bit, but I just loved how he would go real low into bunkers and just the way his gun skills were. So I mimicked a lot of my game after him. And then, obviously everyone mimics Mouse a little bit when running to the snake. But and if I had to pick someone to duel, I really want Ryan Greenspan, mainly because you're like at the top right now of like top 5 in my opinion. Jacob Edwards would be a close second, but I feel like he would be harder to beat than you just because of like.
I completely agree with that. I 100% agree with that. You're fucking way better than I am.
Crazy.
I don't think so, dude.
All right, the top 3 pros at one-on-ones. Who do you think they are?
At one-on-ones?
Yeah. So Jacob Edwards is one.
Jacob Edwards for sure. One-on-ones. I don't know.
Go ahead and answer also, Avery, whenever you feel like you have somebody.
I would agree.
One of the Yakimex from Impact is pretty nasty.
Okay.
Interesting choice.
He is pretty solid.
He is good. Zach?
Yeah, he's gotten really good.
And we're talking about one-on-ones. We're not talking about like, like
Yeah, one-on-one.
Maybe Malloy or something in a one-on-one
Oh, yeah,
would
Malloy might be good.
be kind of crazy.
The French kid? Yeah, he's scary.
What about you, Avery? Who do you think the top 3?
He could.
Yeah,
he
dude.
didn't-
I'm excited to watch. I'm excited to watch Mouse. I'm excited to watch Marcelo, and I'm excited to watch Jacob Edwards. I think they all 3 have such like different styles. Like it'll be cool to see like which one ends up being really good in the duel. Because I definitely think like the skills translate from duel to like 5-man, but I'm curious to see like how well 5-man translates to the duel. Because I mean that's what these guys have been playing for forever.
That's a good point. I like that.
I would do Keith. Maybe. I don't know. 2 of them are hard. J-Rab or Mouse.
I forgot J-Rab.
Yeah, J-Rab's on my list.
And Tyler Harmon.
Yeah, Tyler Harmon. Jacob and Tyler Harmon, I bet were.
I think those are the 2.
I can make an argument that
Yes.
they're the top 2 one-on-one players
I would
in the
say.
league.
I would smash both of them, and I'm retired and fat.
You?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm D1.
I know so.
We need to get that
Dude, you
going.
couldn't even beat
We can
me,
get that
and
going.
I'm fucking like, I'm like
I let
down in
you
the
have
20s.
it. I let you have it.
Thank you, dude. Appreciate it.
I let you have
Appreciate
it.
it.
But I will say, Dylan said something cool. Like when I was interviewing at the end, I said, what does this mean to you? What's the value of this? And he's like, dude, this type of thing could change my life. Winning $15,000.
Sick. I mean, that's huge to be able to provide that opportunity. I think is awesome, and it's something that it has been overlooked in the sport, right? We did the cars back in the day. We did like huge $50,000 grand prizes. We've got like all these sponsors used to like show up for the industry. And I know that the industry has shrunk significantly and the margins have gotten smaller because of competitiveness. But I feel like there's plenty of meat on the bone just kind of looking at numbers that potentially companies could do to provide players with a trajectory to where this sport can actually mean something that could be, again, life-changing, game-changing,
Totally.
all for you.
Yeah.
And then it's great that you and Alex are providing that platform for people, where it's like it's just kind of something that's been shunned off or put to the wayside that other sports and other industries do. And I love that you're kind of mimicking that, which is great.
And I hope it sticks around. This might be, from my perspective, at least the 3rd time they're trying it. HK did like a pro 1v1 tour they tried to do, and it didn't really take off. Ultimate Shootout they did for like 1 season, and then it never did it again. So it's cool. This one's already in the 2nd season of it.
Well, I'll tell you, man, it's not easy, Dylan. So thank you for understanding that, because it's like, and I get why those ones didn't work, because it takes a lot of energy to continuously stoke the fire and to get people involved. And, that's why I'm so grateful for you two, and also grateful for you guys. You've helped me out. Kyle played the first duel ever, and you guys give me this platform to share on it so people get inspired. But like, it's a lot of work, and actually we're spending a lot of money on this. And then now, people call me and like, oh, I can't come. And it's like, dudes, this is opportunity. As a player, if you're trying to evolve your skill, you take opportunities no matter what the hell they are, and you jump on them and you freaking relish in them, and that's what I need, because it's like a machine, I give, you give, and then we're all happy, it's like we're all working together. So it's like just showing up is a big one. So I thank you guys for showing up. And Avery, you've come a long way, and Dylan, dude, you slid in and just impressed me. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm going to give you guys both messages here soon with information for the grand finale and how it's going to work. But I was telling Avery that, hotels and paint's going to be covered, entry fee is going to be covered, so you're just probably going to need to get your airfare,
Sweet.
And my passport. I'm still working on that.
Get that passport, bro, ASAP.
Yeah, get the passport.
You got to get that soon, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't Mikey expired?
Yeah, Mikey,
yes, he showed up to the airport and it expired in 3 months, and they told him he couldn't fly or something like that.
Yeah, that's how it works.
It's usually a 6 months. I'm surprised they even said 3. Usually I'd just be like, dude, I'm.
Well, no, his was 3 months
out.
out from being expired, and they didn't let him fly.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Actually,
know that.
Mikey, I'm scared to play Mikey.
Yeah,
I'd rather
it wasn't
play.
expired.
I'm not afraid to play Tyler, Tyler would be kind of scary. Mikey would be scary.
Tyler's pretty good.
No,
So
Tyler's really good,
what pro players
I
have
play
confirmed?
Tyler.
Look, nobody's confirmed yet. I said, are you interested? Here's the option. Here's the opportunity. A lot of them said yes. A lot of them were amazing, responses, and I tip my hat to them, And then a lot of guys were just weak as fuck, to be honest. A lot of pros were just lame. You were one of them. I get it. But,
Let's go. We'll ask the old lady up there.
We're going to ask the old lady.
She's going to say yes, but it's going to be like one of those, it's a trap. It's
honey, I could go win $20K, and these guys want to watch me play, So, and the world wants to watch me play. Like, I'm a pro player. Like Fedorov was like, I have work, and I was like, I thought you were a pro player, This is work. This is work. I don't know, but like, if I'm a pro player and someone's like, hey, there's a tournament here, I'm paying for you, and you can win $20,000, that's work, This isn't like, hey, let's go holiday in Aruba and fuck off at a clinic. It's like, there's $20,000 on the line here. Show up. Like, that's, to me, it pisses me off a little bit, to be honest. Because I was a pro. When somebody does something for you, you show up for them. Especially something like this that is a great high honor to play. So the pros that are confirmed, nobody.
Okay.
Mouse was there this weekend. Mouse was amazing. He asked a ton of questions. He was, involved. Rainey showed up. He was involved. He was, like, asking questions. I really give, Mouse an edge for doing that, And, again, he's the top player. Both those guys said it. We all agree. And he was the first one there looking at it. There was no Marcelo wasn't there. Like, a lot of guys weren't there that had the opportunity to sneak in and check it out,
Real quick, any tips that you guys would give to players that kind of are up and coming and, want to get into kind of a position where you guys are?
You go.
Avery?
Maybe it is.
Sounds good. I think
I thought Avery's just been really still. I think his computer's been frozen the whole time.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sick. No, I would say just like Oliver said, like just show up. Like these opportunities are there. All you have to do is sign up. Like I know a couple of people that dropped from Alabama, a couple of people that dropped from the SU Village one, a couple of people that dropped from Arizona, and it's like you got to show up if you want these things to happen. And like you might lose, like it might suck, but like you also might win, and you never know until you show up. I think that was the biggest thing. Like with Alabama, like you said, like going against Smitty is like incredibly frustrating. Like there's nothing like playing Smitty in a duel. So like that really like went back to the drawing board and was like, okay, thought for the next 4 weeks, how could I beat Smitty? And so that's like, I wouldn't have had that 4 weeks of growth if I didn't go and lose. You know what I mean? So you have to be willing to go and like take it on the chin if you want to be able to get back up and put it on somebody else.
That's it.
Yeah. I had like a good 2 month period that I knew I was going to be competing in it. So I was training and working at it, and I was just like, well, if someone else ain't working at it, there's no way. I didn't really think anyone was going to get 5 on me, honestly. And maybe one person did. I don't know. I don't think so. But like, I was like, unless they've been working at it, there's no way that they can. But yeah. So that's my approach going into this next one. Unless they're already working at it, they're just playing catch up right now.
Damn. That's
Yeah,
tight, dude.
I love that.
Hell yeah.
Well, dudes, it's such an honor to call you guys my heroes, and you guys are definitely the best. So we'll see you guys in Thailand. And see who wins that 15K.
Yes, sir.
Later, boys. Later, guys. Thanks for joining us. And
Thanks, guys.
Avery, I'll see you at the next WC.
Yes, sir. See you there.
Later, guys.
Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, of course. Later, guys.
That was cool, man.
Dude, that was rad.
Yeah.
Dude, perfect. Good job.
Nice.
Bro, I want you to come to Thailand, dude.
I want to go to Thailand, too. I got newborn children up there. Like, I just left Camille.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
I know,
wait till you see how tired she is.
It's not easy.
She's
It's not
getting
easy.
work, dude. I can't believe how she does it. She leaves me to the kids all day, and I'm like, oh my god. And then like,
moms are superheroes.
dude, she sure is, man.
Moms are superheroes.
It's
Dads are
something else.
losers.
I'm a
Moms are
loser.
superheroes.
I'm a loser.
Well, you're like a 12th. What'd you guys get last event? You're a little bit
At
more
least,
than a
yeah,
loser.
10th, 12th place. That's why I play these big games. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Someone's like, why do you play these big games? I go, because I need to pad my stats. If you take 10th place, if you take 18th place, you better get out there like let some walk-ons know that you're still got the juice,
boss.
right? Yeah, I'm the boss.
Yeah.
So I'll be at Paintball Explosion this weekend.
Okay, that's right. Another big game
big
coming up.
Dude,
Pat
Clowns versus
Pat
Zombies, the very last one at their new
be in Mexico.
Yeah.
We're gonna be at
Ryan
tacos.
told me he actually would have been guaranteed to go to the championship in December if you would have done it at your original choice in Antarctica.
Yeah. I have not been to Antarctica.
He hasn't been there.
Yeah. So that's
I need to
right.
get that
So
stamp.
it's about putting Ryan in the locations that he wants to go to.
Yeah,
So
you know. Yeah, well, you know how that is.
No, now
Yeah,
I'm like pretty much just don't go to most
You have to
places.
field on top of Mount Kilimanjaro.
Bangkok is a place I go.
I also don't really like.
Asia.
No, I love Asia. I love Japan. I love
Don't like
Bali. I love Indonesia in general. I'm
Not
just
Thailand.
not a huge fan of Thailand,
Okay.
especially Bangkok. But we'll see. Let's go talk to.
It's been a long time since you went.
because I'm also trying to get this trip to Indonesia going, and like that's.
Oh, the surf. That's
so
right.
if I win that, for sure I'm going surfing. But if I go out there for 10 days and I don't win, and then I come back and go, hey, I need to go on this surf trip.
When's the surf
Surfing,
trip?
So you'd
In
rather
June.
surf than win 20K.
I would rather
June.
win
Pretty much,
20K.
you'd rather surf.
I
than
would
play
rather
paintball.
I would rather. Yeah, I
You should
would.
start a surfing.
I should. I wish,
Podcast.
I'm just not that good at it. Guaranteed money pays the bills, and that's a good point.
Yes.
Well,
I'm
June's a
guar-
long time
I'm
away, so
guaranteed
you can make some money.
loot.
Guaranteed.
You know, I'm
I
sure
could
that I'll
maybe
make some
give
loot.
you like 10,000 baht.
Bots. I think I got
How
some
much
of
is
them.
that worth?
I don't know, maybe
about
like
$1.30 or something like that?
I
Yeah.
could get you some guaranteed Ks. What about? Does anybody say anything interesting in there? Anything cool going on? You guys have any questions?
Yeah, these guys are talking shit, which
Yeah,
I
Archie
love.
Barnes is just cooking.
Yeah.
Cooking? Is he
ABJ.
cooking
He's cook-
Chris Shear?
He's cooking Eddie. I don't know who. They might, hopefully they know each other.
Hit him up for some cases.
Yeah, and speaking of Chris Shear and Pate, Pate jumped on as a show supporter.
I
Pate
saw
Smith Law.
that. That's his.
And I didn't have enough time again because I have these two
Kids.
children that just they're not mobile, so like I don't know what they want, but they constantly want something. Now they're sleeping on different. Anyway, I'm gonna set up a raffle, a charity auction that Hurricane Helene has been absolutely devastating the majority of that south and east kind of area. Which is actually Pate Smith does a lot of insurance law and helps people get their claims from their insurance agency. I probably am absolutely botching the explanation and of exactly what he does, but he does the good guys work and he supports paintball. So if you or anybody's been affected by that, go ahead and get in contact with him. He can probably help you out getting where you need to be with the insurance companies. But further, I'm going to be getting, because we always do donations and raffles and stuff for people in need. So I will have that going by next week. We'll get some raffle tickets. We'll get some prizes from Hormesis. We've got some of these really cool Hormesis shirts. Thanks, Oliver, for making these things. We'll throw some of those things in there. And I've got loads and loads of stuff to give away. So I'll set something up out there for you guys to buy some very inexpensive raffle tickets. And we'll raise some funds to donate to charity out there to help get stuff. I don't even know the beginning of how bad I've seen some of these videos. So hopefully you're watching this from a safe place and and you guys weren't affected too badly.
Well, Bounds is out there in North Carolina, so
Yeah, I mean Chris is in North Carolina too. It was the western side of North Carolina, the direction kind of in which it went. Lots of rural areas. So
Asheville.
yeah. Oh God.
Chris, all right.
Is Jeff all right? My twins painted the walls with their poop. Had to move the cribs to the center of the nursery. Then they painted each other.
Oof.
That's gonna happen to you.
It's gonna happen. It's inevitable at this time. At this point in time.
Surf and Span Show. That's the new
Surf and
Surf and
Span
Span.
show.
Surf and Span.
Dude, and big shout out to Doc. Doc's taking over the social media, the reins on their social media to help us out there to get more content out.
Dock it up.
Dude, Doc is the man. I've got a package up for him. Also, if you guys won on the show previously, I'm gonna spin the wheel here on the out. I'll just give it a quick little rip right now, because also we got some of these Spick and Span dry fits.
Isn't it fun to see when the thing spins and somebody lands?
It really is. Let's get some winners coming up here
Where are they?
real quick. I had one on this chair here. I thought
Is it right
on
here?
the ground. Yeah, show those things off.
How many of these?
Oh, this shirt.
Yeah, so Pate does insurance claims or personal for catastrophic injury. And he's also been sponsoring, and we're gonna do the Pate Smith move of the event. We're gonna announce that next week. We push that to next week. So we're gonna
see that
give some loot away.
Who made this?
Fast track to the doghouse. Wayne made that. These things are weekly.
Wayne
fast
from
pass.
ASG?
No.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't know he was in that
No.
field.
And these are little dry fits, like sponsored by Hormesis. Got Alex,
nice, yeah.
Alex, Kyle, and I are all in the doghouse right here. Alex is mostly in the doghouse in this picture. Mostly Alex. And then we ripped off your logo and put it on there as well.
Great.
So
We love that.
We gotta
Just
boost the value. We gotta boost the value.
Peyton Smith Law. I love getting outside people involved, so that's cool.
Yeah.
That's nice. I mean, he's inside, but he's outside.
He's in, but he's out. He's an itty bitty an outie. That's right. Display capture right here. Okay.
Hey, Marcus.
Why isn't this? Let me get. I don't know where this thing is right now. Here it is. Well,
One day we'll figure it out.
one day we'll figure it out. Window capture. Chat GPT. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's go back to this one. Aha! There you are. The old wheel. The good old wheel of names.
I think this everyone knows, but also, I guess in some other news, Hinman is not going to be coaching the Bears at World Cup. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Explain this. When did you hear this?
Eduardo.
Benedicto. Go ahead, Kyle.
I just heard that. I'm pretty sure it's factual.
Well, let's get. You got any more like why, how, who?
So pretty much he just coaches for one event and then he's done.
Any reason for that you heard of?
You guys should get him. Then he'll be gone next event. Why don't you guys pick him back up? Pick him back up.
Mr. Kev.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
do you guys have a coach yet? Have you figured that out?
It's gonna be a combo of me and Mark.
Oh, the combo coaching.
Well, we did that last World Cup.
You want me to coach?
Okay. I
Yeah.
asked you. I know, dude. What do you? No.
Yeah,
you come
yeah.
over,
I might play.
You
Dynasty
can coach
and then
us. Well, you can coach us, and you can wear a Dynasty jersey while you coach us.
I was thinking about getting a Dynasty neck tattoo, just really making it official.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah,
Shout
I'll
out
be
to
pl-
Steve
I'll be
Segovia,
playing,
by
though.
the way, and Patch both got Dynasty tattoos. Also part of the hydra of human beings that make up the most magnificent support crew for a pit crew. Them and Chris Sautelli Pasta's in here as well. So big shout out to all those dudes who travel around and really help us out. Look at this person who supports the show. See that?
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't that something new? That's a new one.
It's really bizarre.
That's a really bizarre one. That's a very, very bizarre
I
one.
love that.
All right.
This is a
Mega
surprise.
members right here. We're going to spin the wheel for you guys, give away a couple more prizes, and then we'll get you guys off on your evenings. Jonas, again, a nice little shipping.
Hiroshi.
Yeah, to follow. Yeah, that's going out to Norway.
So do they have to pay more for that?
We're gonna package because I just sent a pod caddy out to him for $40. So we're gonna hold on to a couple gifts for him. Mr. Braver. Oh wait, no, is that Thomas? Mr. Braver.
Who's the bravery?
I don't know. It's screen names. Screen names.
Oh, it's you can just choose.
Well, no, I mean, I have their contact info. So speaking of which, if you are a supporter of the show, we want to thank you very much. Big shout out to Gen X Global and Arfan for donating prizes and supporting the show.
Gen X Global's got the best pods.
It's hands down. It's crazy.
They're just pretty much make pods only.
It's
right?
crazy that they make a bunch of other
I
stuff.
thought you liked those pods of the bubbles in the lock.
Yeah.
On the
those
legs.
ones are
It's
fun.
just crazy that people use other pods. It's
Yeah.
like it just doesn't make any sense to me. Also, thank you to the boys from NECTR. We just got a big old stack of
Oh, Jeff!
NECTRs.
This guy was on fire
Jeff,
today.
dude. Oh yeah, and he's in here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's heating up.
He's heating up.
Oh yeah. Kev, you can bring the.
Mr. Kev 2.0. That's right. I'll bring it to Paintball Explosion.
We had a
PBS.
solid 130 in there the whole time. I don't think it dipped below.
No, this is a great showing.
It only dipped below when we started spinning the wheels.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who watch the show that don't support the show.
So then they're out.
And so, they don't throw likes in. They just kind of watch for the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
But then you wait till the end and then you drop the real dirt.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So here's where the
Ryan's
show really-
actually a woman. He's been fooling you the whole time.
All right. We're close to getting canceled.
YouTube just shuts it down.
YouTube is gonna shut us down. All right, point the autococker in down to the camera real quick, and let's really getting going here. And so yeah, big shout out to everybody out here: BFP Gear, NECTR, Pate Smith Law, Gen X Global, Alex and Hormesis Tigerwear, Island Designs, and all of you for no home delivery. Jeff, go ahead and send me a message, and that way I can make sure we can get your address dialed in exactly where it needs to be. And thank you guys. We'll see you guys next week on Tuesday. Oliver is going to be down in Guadalajara, so if you guys can make it to the airport, hold a sign up for him saying "Bienvenidos, Oliver."
Amigo.
What else you got in Spanish?
El gato.
El gato.